Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Office Bloke Daz.
Office Bloke Aidan.
Here we are on Sports Edition. Sports is for you. You know what to do. Leave us a like and subscribe. You know it makes sense.
It does.
The WNBA will regret losing Caitlin Clark. I saw a video the other day saying Caitlin Clark is leaving the WNBA. And I just didn't click into it. I just thought it was clickbait. So I just ignored it.
Yeah. No, there is a lot of stuff about it. I'm not sure how true it actually is, though. Like, it's not happened yet, has it?
Well, I think it's only just been announced, hasn't it? Or she announced it.
I feel like this has been news for like the last week or so.
Yeah, it's like I said, I saw the headline and I thought, what? And I thought, nah. I thought it's just a clickbait thing that she's taking the first 2 weeks off or something like that.
Well,
I guess she's talking about coming to Europe.
Yeah. Yeah. Should we get into it?
Yeah, go for it.
Will regret losing Caitlin Clark.
In every sports league, a generational talent inevitably rises, transforming the game and elevating everyone around them, much like a rising tide lifts a boat. In swimming, it was Michael Phelps. In boxing, it was Muhammad Ali. In baseball, Babe Ruth. For women's MMA, Ronda Rousey took the mantle, while Serena Williams dominated women's tennis. In the NBA's darkest days, when the league was struggling, it was Larry Bird and Magic Johnson who brought it back to life. Then came Michael Jordan, and just like that, the NBA transformed from a league on the verge of collapse in the 70s to a global powerhouse by the 90s.
Like pebbles into a well.
My goodness. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it.
That's the impact of generational talents, what they can truly achieve. Now, as we all know, the WNBA has struggled for decades and is often seen as a league in disarray. Despite their efforts, nothing seemed to reverse the tide, as they continue to lose millions year after year after year.
We're asking for, a similar, not even the same shared revenue, but a similar percentage of revenue shared.
Then, almost as if their prayers were finally answered, Caitlin Clark emerged.
Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark.
As a devoted NBA fan for nearly 2 decades, I can honestly say I've never seen anyone quite like her. The NBA was already a dominant force when I became a superfan, so I never experienced one individual having this level of influence on a league. She single-handedly changed the perception of an entire sports association in a way I've never witnessed before.
I agree with that.
I'm going to go on the record and say she's the best female collegiate player ever.
Now, here's where things get amusing for us, but downright dangerous for the WNBA. In the NBA, there's a phrase called fumbling the bag. We saw it when Nerlens Noel turned down a $70 million contract only to settle for $4 million. And again when Dennis Schroeder rejected an $80 million deal only to end up with $6 million. Now it looks like the WNBA is fumbling their golden opportunity with Caitlin Clark.
Hey, LeBron, you're 100% right on these girls hating on Caitlin Clark. Y'all petty girls.
If they're not careful, we might just see Caitlin playing in another league. And if that happens, the WNBA could slide right back into being the punchline it's been for nearly 2 decades.
What she's accomplished, give her flowers. Stop being petty, all you women out there. She got y'all ass charters. She bringing all y'all this money to the table, but y'all being petty like dudes.
Basketball is full of stories about players who, feeling undervalued, walked away from their teams. Scottie Pippen and the Chicago Bulls, Jimmy Butler and the Minnesota Timberwolves, Kyrie Irving and the Cleveland Cavaliers, and most recently, Klay Thompson and the Golden State Warriors. Well, just a short time ago, the WNBA made a completely baffling move with Caitlin Clark, and honestly, if I were her, I'd be feeling pretty underappreciated right now. You see, when the 2024 regular season ended, the award winners were already obvious. MVP, Rookie of the Year, Sixth Woman, Defensive Player, the whole lineup. All that was left was the official announcements. Well, on September 22nd, the WNBA officially crowned A'ja Wilson as the league MVP. Naturally, with Kate...
I've never even heard of her.
I'm just going to say the same. Goes to show that I've never heard of her.
No, neither, yeah.
Caitlin Clark being the best thing to ever happen to the WNBA, we expected her announcement to come next. But 3 days later, on September 25th, they announced the most improved player instead. No big deal. Caitlyn's recognition was going to be next, right? Well, on September 27th, instead of her name, they rolled out a list of records broken in the 2024 season. I couldn't help but laugh. I mean, seriously, what were they thinking? But still no big deal, right? I mean, Caitlyn's announcement was going to come any day now. Well, then came September 29th, 1 full week after the MVP was revealed, and instead of Caitlyn, they announced the Defensive Player of the Year. I laughed again. Everyone else was thinking, what's going on? But later that same day, the WNBA made another announcement. This had to be it, we thought. Caitlyn's moment. Except, it wasn't.
What?
They announced Cheryl Reeve as Coach and Executive of the Year instead. At this point, things were getting ridiculous. Caitlin Clark was the biggest sensation the WNBA had ever seen, and she was head and shoulders above every other rookie. So, why wasn't she being announced? She had to be next, right? Well, not quite. On September 30th, the WNBA made another announcement. This time, it was about their expansion draft for the 13th franchise, the Golden State Valkyries. Seriously, at this point everyone was asking, where in the world was Caitlin Clark? On October 2nd, another press release came out, and guess what? It was for the 2024 Kim Perrott Sportsman Award.
I kind of get the MVP going to someone else. If they've won the title, and Caitlin Clark went out in the first round, maybe, or whatever the round they went out in the Fever, then I can see the MVP, the one who's carried their team all the way to the final, maybe, and won the trophy. Most improved player. Surely Caitlin Clark's name's got to be on that.
But was she like most improved player? She didn't play in the league last year. All I'm expecting her to get is Rookie of the Year. Really,
Rookie of the Year, something like that. She's got to get something, but I can kind of see where the WNBA is going here. If they put all their eggs in one basket with just Caitlin Clark, kind of looks a little bit bad for everyone else. But they've got to. Everyone from the outside can see it. That's what the growth of the WNBA. All these figures that they were coming out with. They've been talking about. All that's down to Caitlin Clark, the viewers, the merchandise, everything that comes down with it is to do with Caitlin Clark. Nothing else about it. Yeah. So everyone in the world, if we can see it in the UK, everyone who's watching it in the USA, locally and all that can see it as well. Surely.
Unbelievable. I literally laughed to myself. You're going to announce the Sportsmanship Award before the Golden Girl? By now, fans online were getting restless, and the comments started pouring in. I noticed you still haven't congratulated Caitlin Clark on her Rookie of the Year award. Why is that? Another one read, posting this while hiding your Rookie of the Year, Caitlin Clark, is the type of move that shows why the league has been so unsuccessful. And then there was, what about Rookie of the Year? Are you going to send it to Caitlin via cash on delivery and wrapped in fish paper? Finally, someone summed it up perfectly. The WNBA's trolling at this point, laughing emoji. But anyway, finally, October 3rd rolled around, nearly 2 weeks after the MVP announcement, and they finally announced Caitlin. But it wasn't all sunshine and celebrations. Something just didn't feel right. You see, Caitlin Clark was hands down the best rookie of the 2024 class by a mile. She wasn't just dominating among rookies, she was literally in the MVP conversation. Record after record fell at her feet, and she even took her team from the bottom of the conference to the playoff hunt. She was that good. Yet, the WNBA committed basketball blasphemy by refusing to give her a unanimous Rookie of the Year vote and handing one to Angel Reese instead.
Should have been unanimous.
Should have been. I agree. It should have been unanimous.
Caitlin got 66 votes, and Angel, half my rebounds are from my own Mrs. Reese, got 1 vote to ruin the party. For Caitlin, this was a huge slap in the face. I mean, just look at the comparison between the two. Caitlin beat Angel 3-1 in the regular season matchups. Caitlin led her team to 3rd in the conference, while Angel's team finished dead last. And when you dive into the individual stats, the gap between them becomes even more ridiculous. Points per game, assists, steals, field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, free throw percentage, effective field goal percentage, and heck, even blocks. Caitlin dominated Angel Reese in every one of these categories. The only stat Angel leads in is rebounds. And even that's skewed since she grabs a lot of her own misses and stays in late to pad her stats. Sheesh! How did the WNBA manage to rob Caitlin Clark of a unanimous Rookie of the Year award when the picture is as clear as this? Anyway, here's what WNBA fans had to say about this. I really want to know who did the one vote. Like, what type of hole do you have to be? Give me a break. This should be unanimous, arguably the best rookie season of all time. On purpose, so she wouldn't win unanimous. Jealousy is a bitter perfume. And here's one more fan comment that sums up what a lot of people are thinking about that one vote. Swoops is a POS. Sheesh, guys. It's wild that a league would do this to the one person in their 20 plus years of existence who could actually pull them out of obscurity and into the spotlight. For the last decade, they've practically been begging for money at every turn.
I do feel like the pay gap would be something that, we could just take a donation around the NBA maybe.
They were so strapped for cash that Kyrie Irving had to step in and support them during the pandemic. Now, given how Caitlin has been treated all year, the constant abuse she's faced both on and off the court, imagine what would happen if Caitlin Clark left the WNBA. Imagine her getting fed up with the on-court cheap shots, the verbal assaults off the court, the constant passive-aggressive jabs from all sides, and the league's refusal to step in. What if she decided to head overseas, like Gabby Williams, who just left the Seattle Storm to play in Europe? Or like Elizabeth Cambage and Diana Taurasi, who both left the WNBA for stints abroad. Sure, those players all left to chase bigger paychecks, but imagine if Caitlin left simply because she was done with all the non-basketball drama she's been forced to endure.
I feel like I'm getting hammered.
Here's the reality the WNBA needs to understand. Caitlin Clark doesn't need the WNBA. The WNBA needs Caitlin Clark. I mean, Caitlin's very first playoff series pulled in 1.8 million viewers for Game 1 and 2.5 million for Game 2. To put that into perspective, the average viewership of this first-round series alone has already surpassed any WNBA Finals ratings in league history. That's how transformative Caitlin Clark has been for the league.
Don't get it twisted. Don't get it. Caitlin Clark is the reason why a lot of great things is going to happen for the WNBA.
Honestly, with the way they've been treating her, saying things like the W is more than one player, leaving her off the Olympic team despite being in the MVP conversation, and allowing players to physically target her without consequence, it'd be hilarious to see how the league would react if their one golden ticket slipped away. Stephen A. Smith has already called this out in the past.
You make the call because of the betterment of the whole in the end. That is not compromising your integrity. That is business. And y'all are going to find that out.
It would actually be pretty funny, considering Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark's so-called biggest rival, has repeatedly claimed that people tune into the WNBA because of her as well.
The reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
I'm not too sure about that.
It's not. It's
maybe some people, but not. It's a completely different scale.
It's obvious to everybody. You look at rises like that. You've seen a girl come in who's all the young kids want to be Caitlin Clark. You've seen that sign someone had up before. To 10th birthday, Caitlin Clark jersey, tickets to the Fever. Whatever it may be. But it's I don't know. Is it confirmed she's going, or is it just sort of being talked about?
Like it's being talked about. Yeah.
Well, about what Angel said. Let's be real. This is why we watch Caitlin Clark. Her skill set, the deep threes, her ability to break down defenses, pure skill. Now, here's Angel Reese's game. Grabbing her own rebounds and taking 75% of her shots from within 10 feet, where she still manages to score less than 50% of the time. If Caitlin left the WNBA, the league would seriously regret it, and this would go down as the biggest fumble in sports history. In business, when you have a golden egg, you're supposed to guard it with everything you've got and let it grow into a money-making machine. Instead, they're literally letting her get attacked on the court, acting innocent like they did nothing wrong, and then, just to top it off, they play victim. If you're wondering what I mean by all of this, make sure to check out this video.
Yeah, I just the WNBA have to be very, very careful if she is.
I hope she does leave now.
It'll just show. They can't let her leave.
No, I know, but it shows. I mean, it's their own fault if she does leave, isn't it?
If she does, yeah, and it's like I say, you know, the way she was looked at there, getting okay, she got Rookie of the Year, and but the way they've gone about giving it to her, you know, you see WNBA fans there talking about it on social media. Everyone can see it. It's there for everyone to see.
Yeah.
It's not something that you think, well, it could be that, it could be this. It's her. She's the ticket for them to raising value, raising money, raising attendance, everything that goes with it to make that business grow.
Yeah.
Because you see it flat out, and then you see the female basketball players saying they want a pay gap. You know, when they want it bringing together to be more in line with what the men are getting. You're mad.
The WNBA will just lose even more money, won't they? They don't have the money to give it to them.
I never understand this. This female-male comparison all times. You know, it's totally different sports.
Yeah.
It's very, very different. Got the similar sort of like setup, how it's going to work, the game, the rules.
Yeah.
But when you're playing it on the court or on the field or on the pitch, whatever you're playing on, it's very different. It's not the same levels. And you see it, and it's, you know, people say to me, "Do you go watch women's football?" And I go, "I don't know." And they go, "Why? You love football?" I went, "Yeah, I love men's football. I don't want to watch women's football. It's not for me. If I'm going to watch shit football, I'll go to the park and watch the kids play, the 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds." Just chasing the ball around. It's not the same.
Do you reckon you could get into the women's team?
When I was younger, probably. Not now. Blowing me out my arse in 5 minutes. But yeah, I mean the level they're playing at, it's not in the same league. It's not in the same league as the men. It's just not.
No.
And people have got to accept it. If anyone wants to argue about it, you've got all day to argue because it's
very
real,
simple
it's the truth.
Facts to know why they
truth.
do get paid less. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm not asked about the pay. If the WNBA come up with something and they smashed it and they were getting massive sponsors and the women were earning more than the men won't give a shit. The men will try and replicate it so they can get bigger as well. They won't be asking for handouts. You know, simple. But I hope they don't lose Caitlin Clark because that's pushing the WNBA right up the ladder. And if they lose her, he'll slide back down. A lot of people will walk away. But
maybe what if she comes and plays for the Manchester?
Manchester what? Do we even have a basketball? I don't know if we have a men's basketball team. Well, not a women's. Anyway, it's interesting to watch that because it's if she is going to leave and she does walk away from the WNBA, I think it's a catastrophic disaster. Anyway,
what's going to happen?
Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.
Cheers.
Cheers.